All right, guys. Welcome back in my podcast project. I didn't have a podcast already for a long time, so I forgot how it feels. And here we go together with Bruno. And first time I did podcast with him, it was like last year around Christmas time, and I had those Christmas lights, and these are the same lights I had them before.
Wow.
But
You
we
didn't
actually
even take them from there. They've been there for 1 year on the
no,
floor.
no, no, no. I took them out. I took them out from the upstairs. But also we uploaded this podcast quite late because it was way after Christmas. So shout outs to anyone who was making the schedule at end point. Anyway, all right. So Bruno, quite
Yes.
quite a reverse, quite a change from what we've been speaking last year. We probably spoke about the new season, who's gonna do well in QPL and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And now everything's over. Basically, we got no QPL anymore. We don't know the future of Quake. Well, we kind of know, and because of King Kong, Maestro, and other guys. How was last year for you with Quake and everything? Did you expect at some point that QPL might not be continued this year?
I think we all kind of expected. I think, if anything, everyone's a bit surprised that it went on for this long.
Hmm.
But every year, people. I mean, I don't know about players because you guys get the information, you know,
Hmm.
I'm not going to say much sooner, but sooner than everyone else. But every year, people kind of expected it to eventually go away.
Hmm.
And it's sad that it's gone, but it also opens up, 7 months of the year for other projects. And
Hmm.
in the Quake community, there's so much passion that people are always looking to put project. This year for me has been quite amazing. I attended a couple of lands. I think I've attended, well, not QuakeCon, but I attended KeenCon and
Hmm.
and Foundry, and those were really fun.
Yeah, I'm happy I
And I
went
hope it
there as
happens
well.
again.
And I'm also happy that we got opportunities open now because I think this QPL like format with league and playing against everyone against each other, I think it came to the point where it wasn't as interesting, at least for me. So I would really like to see more LANs and more like
Yeah.
tournaments. And so although KingCon already announced that it's gonna be kind of a league, but I think it's gonna be completely different format than what we had in KPL. And I spoke with Maxter recently, and I think they will be announcing something probably around New Year time. So soon, hopefully we're gonna get some more information. And what I wanted to say is, okay, so we got this like we had this estoty like first of all like 2v2 cup like last week, um, or 2 weeks ago, and it was also 500 prize pool, and it's a nice amount for a tournament to keep like scene active, keep people like streaming and playing and stuff like this. So I'm happy we have another one made by VAXEE, but also I hope that maybe we can squeeze in one more in January. You know what I mean? Before everything starts, before this like King Kong League starts and other tournaments. So to keep people like playing and watching Quake, because we don't want to have situation where it's like all quiet for a half year or something
Yeah.
like this, right?
If anything, I'm really surprised that, like, after the VAXEE tournament announced, then Estonia announced theirs, which was really cool.
Hmm.
And I've seen players practice more since that announcement than before most lands.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like, Kilson has been streaming almost every day. Even you've been streaming, which is
Yeah,
surprising as hell.
yeah.
A lot of players have been trying to play, and it's really cool because, like, even before the best two dual lands, player weren't really practicing much. But
Hmm.
it comes down to what you said before, because with QPL it was dual. It's the same format for like 5 years. Players
Hmm.
were a bit burned out. Viewers were a bit turned out. They said it got the point where it wasn't much interesting. And even if next year people want to do more leagues, since the format changes a little bit, it's already exciting and keeps the scene alive.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Starting from the beginning, because you are one of the organizers, as Liquid, let's say, it's you and defense. How?
Yeah, I'm not doing anything of the organizing. I leave all that to defense. Vexy only talked to me
Hmm.
because there was an idea to do like a LAN in Portugal.
So
Even
that was
before,
the one you were like talking
yeah,
about previously, yeah.
yeah. Even before, I think a few months ago, Vexy uh, contacted me saying, "Oh, I wanna like have a Quake tournament.
Hmm.
How can you make it happen?" And I said I was a little bit too busy at the time to do anything for them, so we left it for later. And then some people in Portugal that had a spot for multi gaming LAN They
Hmm.
offered me to make a Quake tournament, so I tried to get something going for that. I
Hmm.
talked to VAXEE again, and they said they would be fine to sponsor it. But then it didn't work out because the guys who were organizing the event said, "Oh, apparently we can only guarantee the
Yeah.
space and computers for 3 hours in one of the days."
All right.
So it fell apart.
So you
But I
came up
talked to
with the
VAXEE.
idea of 2v2 and
Yeah,
online. Yeah.
I mean, VAXEE wanted to do a Duel tournament
Yeah.
originally,
Yeah.
but I said, "Oh, I'm so done with Duel. We've been seeing Duel for years. I kind of want to see team modes." And they said, "Well, but if you do team modes, you're not really gonna have viewers."
Hmm.
And so I said,
So you
"Okay,
took the
I'll
challenge basically.
guarantee, yeah, I'll guarantee viewers if you let me do 2v2."
Hmm.
That's why I made the format that it is with like invites and qualifiers, and I'm
Hmm.
forcing players to stream
To stream.
basically.
Yeah.
The invited streams have to stream,
Yeah.
so that at least we guarantee there are viewers,
Hmm.
right? That's the only way. Because if it's just Chef Tastic or another stream, maybe we won't really get many viewers. But if the players themselves are streaming, they bring in
Yeah.
more audience.
Just on the record, I recently started streaming, but it wasn't because of that. I wasn't
No,
forced. I'm really
no,
doing like stream Sember project, and I want to
that's
keep
true.
people watching. Okay, so the guys from VAXEE are Portuguese, or how did you like get contact with them?
Well, yeah, my contact in VAXEE is Tomahawk.
Hmm.
He was he in the older days. He had that Oracle Excello, which
Ah,
had
yeah,
like
yeah.
Fez and Sparty and etc. So he knows the Quake scene pretty well. He was with Zowie. He was one of the founders of Zowie, and
Mhm.
now he's with VAXEE, and he still likes Quake. He likes watching.
So they
He
producing
he's been to
mices.
some lands.
They
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
producing mices. Okay. They have it
They have a
like
lot of
globally
mice,
all
mouse
over the
pads,
world.
etc.
Okay.
Yeah, all over the world. It's a
All right.
pretty. It's not such so recent. It's they've
Hmm.
I think they've been at it for like 5 years now, and they have some pretty good products that
Hmm.
I'm yet to try.
Hmm.
But a lot of some Quakers already have like Bukster has like 4 VAXEE mice already.
All right. Yeah, I never tried those, but yeah, shout outs to them for like investing in Quake and trying to organize. I think if we can bring them some good viewers and nice show,
Yeah,
maybe they will be willing to like help the community in the future. Also, guys, remember we got exactly the same thing for VAXEE as we used to have like for Foundry, and then King can follow up with this. If you guys want to support like 2v2, it's not really like you're supporting only the tournament, but the whole process up to the tournament, like people practicing and streaming and everything. We got a donation goal link, and if you like the idea and want to donate, like feel free to do that. We will add the links in the description
yeah,
to the donation goal and to the VAXEE socials or like website. Even if you want to like support us in following us on social media or VAXEE on social media, it's always welcome. The more reach we get, the better it is, as we always say. um,
exactly. If you want to support Quake, even if you just follow VAXEE and tweet at them saying thank you for supporting Quake, that's already a very big
of
help because they
course.
know at least they're getting followers from Quake.
Yeah, there is some movement on the side. There's some movement in social media. This is also important. It's not only about the money and stuff, but you can
Yeah,
support in many different ways. Just showing up on the stream and watching the tournament is also a support at some point, right? So we got the finals coming up this Sunday. I think Sunday is a good day for watching such tournament. It could bring like quite a lot of people because usually it's lately it was like Saturdays, Fridays, like all those dates, and you
yeah. I
you.
wasn't sure what day to do it in. I
Mhm,
I don't remember why I decided on Sunday, but I think I heard there was something going on one of the Saturdays, so I decided okay, I'll leave the Saturday because there
mhm,
might be some Quake Champions League on that day, so I won't do anything. I'll
mhm.
just do it on the Sunday, and I announced the dates like 1 month early so that people could do it on other days.
Hmm.
And it's starting quite late, like 4 p.m.,
Yeah,
but it's also finishing like 8 9 p.m. so that people don't have to stay here until 2 a.m.
I also like the idea of starting it a bit later because like NA like scene can catch up and watch it as well. This is
It's
what I,
mostly for me because I work nights, but yeah.
but still I think it's better for NA. This is what I also tried to
Yeah.
like. I think what we're gonna try to do with Foundry, maybe we're gonna try to start a little bit later if we're doing something else like in the future, not like
Hmm.
strictly in the morning like 10 a.m. or something like this. I think it's way too early for everyone, and there are some
Yeah.
days where you are finished at 6 7 p.m., so you could easily like go up to 8 or 9. The only bad thing is like for all the staff who's working around it and the production and everyone else. But yeah, okay, so we already we are already after the qualifier. Anything like surprised you during the qualifiers? Did you expect someone else go through? Did you expect
Yeah,
Xron going through the loser bracket with Silencep?
I expect them to qualify straight up, but as their team name says, they're pretty washed right now. I
Yep.
mean, Silencep is probably the one player who has practiced Quake champions even less than me in the past 5 years.
Hmm.
Like I come back like once a year and practice for like a month, but he doesn't even do that. Since
Exactly,
2018
because
has been gone, he hasn't done it.
yeah, because he never competed in 1v1, so he
Yeah,
only was there basically in very beginning for sacrifice and
just
then
for
for
the team
2v2.
modes.
Yep.
And that's it. That's why now he tries to play. And the thing is, when we play them, it feels like they're so ahead of everyone else in like teamwork and tactics, but then they don't hit as much.
Mm,
But you feel the teamwork, like the coordination is all there, and they're doing stuff, and everything has a purpose. And when it clicks, it's
mhm,
very high level, but a lot of the times they're just not hitting the shots to execute.
mhm,
But with the rest of the players, Chain and Strong Sage signed up. I expected them to qualify pretty easily,
mhm.
but I think they lost versus two ranked players. They're Zero and Killer. Fair play to them, but I that's that's a fumble by by Strong Sage and Chain. I
You
fully
think
expect them to
you think
qualify.
you think that was the course of the nerfing clutch?
Maybe, but
Nerfing
have you
scale,
seen the
sorry,
map
nerfing scale.
nerfing scale? But have you
Yep.
seen the champions they play? They went deep embrace. The other guys were playing Slash and Ranger,
Mhm.
and Strong Sage and Chain decided to play Doom and Kill. Like
Okay.
Slash is open, Strong Sage is there. Have Strong Sage play Slash, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's no surprise with those picks. They made their job very hard.
Mhm.
And who else was there that didn't qualify? I expected Cygape to sign up. Kind of
Uh-huh.
disappointed that he didn't, because he's like for me he's one of the best team
Did
players in
did
in,
Dramis
in the US.
Dramis compete with someone, right?
With Festive Turtle.
They didn't qualify.
No, they went versus us in the last round of the lower bracket, and we beat them. And then I said to Festive Turtle, "This is payback for tours."
All right. All right. Because she beat you, right? Yeah.
She beat me. No, she beat vengeuR, but I was there.
vengeuR. Okay. Okay. Um, what else?
So the four qualified teams that went
GaRpY
through,
and Bukster
yeah,
got the
GaRpY
first
and
place
Bukster
for
won in
something. Yeah.
first place. Then estotycom, which was ARTOWKA and Stone, because
Hmm.
they actually beat Xron and
Xron.
Silencep, who
Yeah.
got third place, and
Hmm.
me and RMV surprisingly qualified as well.
Hmm. Okay. What do you think about Stone and ARTOWKA? Because they
They're
like ARTOWKA is playing 2v2s already for a long time, and
Yeah,
I know he likes the
and
mode same
Stone
as
is
me.
always playing Duel,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They're out of everyone else, they're probably the ones that have grinded the game the most in the past 5 years. So
But
it's good to see that they actually qualified.
I really like to see them like teaming up because ARTOWKA used to play with Opium, and I think Opium didn't have as much time to play Quake in general. So
Hmm.
Stone is like very good addition to ARTOWKA and to compete. They both speak in Russian, so they can communicate
Yeah,
well. They don't have issues with communicating. As Russians, they playing heavily on items, which is very like rewarding in Quake Champions 2v2. So I think they are improving, and they also beat some good team like on this Stoti Cup. Wasn't it again like Xron and Silencep that they beat on that
yeah, they
tournament?
beat Xron and Silencep.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
throw them to the lower bracket,
Okay.
so it's
So
it's
they
really
are their
cool.
nemesis.
Yeah, I don't know
Okay.
who they play because we've released the brackets already for the
Hmm.
VAXEE tournament.
Hmm.
I think they might actually play versus Sirius in Keltz,
Hmm.
so that's probably a bit too hard for them. But
Hmm.
if they go down to lower bracket, I'm expecting some upsets from them.
They also have good hero champion pool because like Stone is playing Anarchy, good kill, and
Yeah,
Toshka playing super good like Slash and Nick. So I'm really excited to see how they're gonna do, and I'm glad as we spoke before because I was asking you if you're trying to do like single limb or double limb. I'm always going for double limb because I
yeah.
truly believe that you are missing out so much because
The plan
even
was single limb, as I talked to you, but I talked to like Chef Tastic and I talked to the players, and
mhm,
most of them wanted double limb, so it's just gonna be best of three, double limb. A standard.
mhm.
Best of three, final best of five, lower bracket, best of one.
Because if you even look at the bracket now, as you said, we got a Stoti team against cheaters. They probably gonna lose to Sirius and Celts. But I'm still super excited to see them like going through the lower bracket because they improve so
Yeah.
much. They have so much potential. So I just want to see them playing more, and that's it. And I think it's super interesting.
You know the fun part? They'll likely play versus
And they still
QZ
can beat.
again.
Yeah, they still can beat some team in the loser bracket
Yeah.
anyway. So like you know. All right, going to the bracket. Brackets are already up on the Wikipedia VAXEE tournament. If you guys want
Yeah.
to check it out, we're also gonna link it down below. The first matchup, I wanted to go like quickly through the matchups. We got
Hmm.
Myztro Gaming against Clique.
Yeah.
You got
That's gonna be a very very hard game for Maestro. I'd be surprised if they even get a couple of kills
same,
in that one.
same. I think it's easily
Very hard.
2-0 for Clique.
Yeah, I mean it's
Clique
just
esports.
two extremely good Quake Champions players versus two CS2 noobs.
Isn't Clique esports organization from UK as well?
Oh yeah, I think so. And
They are,
they
right?
play a bunch of different games apparently. And RMV we couldn't play. I think it was
Hmm.
Saturday because he was playing a tournament with them in another game.
Hmm. And
So
when did you
multi-gamer.
when you decide when you decide that you want to team up with RMV?
When Sirius asked me to play with him, and I said I didn't want to play with him,
Okay.
and I asked Memphis to play with me, and Memphis said that he's gonna be in Germany, so I had to find someone else. So I
All
went
right.
for someone who is as smart as Sirius,
Hmm.
but actually goes to items,
Hmm.
and that's RMV.
Hmm. Okay.
And I'm very surprised about RMV actually
I
because
think he's good.
he's more than being good. Like the reason why when people ask me who is the best player that I play with, I always say Memphis when it comes to teammates because he always knows where to be, right?
Yeah.
And if we discuss something beforehand, he just follows it. He
Okay.
knows how to communicate. He knows how to be there, even if he doesn't have like serious mechanics.
Hmm.
He has incredible game sense. He has amazing rockets, and he always knows where he has to be.
Hmm.
And with RMV, like he didn't have much experience in 2v2, but he was very willing to listen. The
Hmm.
first time we played, I told him exactly how I wanted him to play, the champions I wanted him to play, how I was gonna camp, and the
Hmm.
champions I was gonna camp with, and
Hmm.
how I was gonna communicate. And
Hmm.
since then, from like the first couple of games, he's just sponging information and he's just going everywhere, taking the items, and I'm just behind him with trails failing.
Hmm. But how would you describe him in 2v2? Does he like to really go for items and control the
Yes,
map, or he's more like staying in between and
he just goes. He just
he
goes.
just go? He's playing
He's
super
he's
aggressive, right?
he's basically a mini series that actually moves.
Hmm. Okay.
Imagine, look, an Anazi that, hmm, an Anazi that knows how to fight better, maybe? No, an Anazi that can time. That's it.
Or I will describe him more like Dramis, who has better hit scans,
Yeah, yeah,
kind
maybe.
of,
It's hard,
kind
it's
of.
hard, right? Because maybe
Like
it's kind
every
of like
style,
keltz, I think.
every style is unique at some point. It's like
Yeah,
you have no like two same players in Quake. That's what's so beautiful about games as well, because
yeah.
you have so many different styles.
And for me, it works for me because I'm someone that like what I offer to the game, I might as well be AFK because I just sit still in one place. I miss rails, but I'm just communicating. You know, I'm telling him where to go. I'm telling the timings, and he's just going around the map and hitting stuff. So he doesn't really need to talk much.
Mhm,
For the style I play, I need basically an idiot that hits a lot and moves well,
mhm.
and he's my idiot.
All right, I got interesting question now. Do you think, if you're thinking about all the top players, do you
Yeah.
think dual top players, like all of them, are transforming their like playstyle to 2v2, or you got some players who play different 2v2 and different 1v1?
Hmm.
Or you think
Yeah,
all of them like transforming their style to 2v2?
that's a good one. Because Rapha plays basically the same way, and
Yeah,
in 2v2,
yeah.
he's basically the two players. But if you think of Raisy plays 2v2 as he plays Duel pretty much.
Hmm.
Sirius as well. Kilson pretty much as well. He just ignores items
Hmm.
and he doesn't talk with anyone.
Hmm.
And he sits still, he hits rails.
Hmm.
But vengeuR, for instance, vengeuR is actually different in 2v2.
I got another example soon.
So
There's
who else?
it's a very obvious example. I think Xron plays much different in 2v2 than in 1v1.
Yeah, okay, okay. Xron is way better in 2v2 than he
He's
is.
going
in Duel.
Much more for items and for map
Yeah,
control and like aggressive styles than he does in 1v1, I think.
yeah. You know what I say about Xron when I play him in 2v2?
Hmm.
I just say his whole personality is picking up rail.
Okay,
And
that's a
if you
good
play
one.
versus
Yeah,
him in 2v2, it makes sense, right? Because
yeah.
if he doesn't have rail, you know he's trying to get that rail. And he's very sneaky,
Hmm.
right? When he doesn't have rail, he plays very sneaky. And when he has rail, then he becomes very aggressive.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, but yeah, if he plays Duel like he plays 2v2, he would still be a top 8 player in Duel.
Hmm. If you would have to give Rapha a player now, and like hope that Rapha's team gonna be as successful as it was with DaHanG, who would you give it to him?
Does it matter? You can give Rapha
No,
anyone. Rapha
no,
already is the two
no, 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 no,
players.
no, no. I don't think so. I don't think so. I really don't think you can give him super defensive player.
No, not the defensive one, because he
First of
needs
all,
support, right?
like Rapha will get absolutely mad
Yeah.
at some
Okay,
point.
look, you can't give him if you give him, for instance, Chain in Duel is super defensive, in team modes is a lot more aggressive
Yeah,
because he's played with Rapha a lot. But
yeah.
I still wouldn't give Chain to Rapha
Hmm.
because their style will clash a lot. I I would give him Strong Sage.
Strong Sage.
Yeah, from NA, either Strong Sage or Saigib. If you give him Saigib, I think they just insta win every tournament. So I'll give him Strong Sage so he has someone to teach.
Hmm.
And if you give him Strong Sage, that would actually even boost Strong Sage Duel as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think it would lead to many argues because I think Strong Sage is kind of a guy who really likes to argue about everything sometimes.
Yes.
So it will be funny at some point, but you get the point. I think Strong Sage will be fitting him well.
Yeah.
I think Psyjip as well. Although I don't know. But yeah, someone like this. Yeah. Or
I'd
Dramis
probably
even.
give him more. I think Saigib would fit him better than Strong Sage because
Hmm.
Saigib he can also play the support role
Hmm.
really well.
Hmm.
And Strong Sage, I feel like if you don't give him items,
Hmm.
he gets kind of flustered and a bit lost.
Hmm.
And Rafa is someone that he really likes to play with the items, so
Hmm.
maybe
I
Saigib.
think I think Rapha vengeuR team will be fucking imba, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
I think yeah, I
I mean,
think
if you give two of the best players right now,
yeah,
yeah, okay.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, let's jump to another match. Ice Climbers, BUGA.
That's an interesting one because these two teams. I think I told Shaftastic if they're gonna stream, so this is the match of the round one that they should be streaming because this is probably the closest game out of all of the games.
Hmm.
It's very hard to call which of these teams are actually in better shape. You were playing versus Ice Climbers last night, right?
Hmm.
And I was playing versus Bukster GaRpY,
Hmm.
and I don't know who was gonna take it from these two. They both seem to be in very very good shape, like
Hmm.
similar shape. So I don't know.
Thing is, I think both teams don't really play over aggressive. They're not really pushing that much. So I think it should be like very. It might be even low scoring game. I
Hmm.
mean, you may hit the time limit sometimes, like on one of the maps. I think.
I think
Uh,
there are two factors to this match, right? If they ban Anarchy from GaRpY,
mhm,
that's already very good for Ice Climbers. And then if
mhm,
Toxic manages to hit rails or manages to pick up Tribal,
mhm. What I realize now, I think Toxic gonna play legit two champions only. Yesterday, I think all of the maps he played Aizen against us. All of them. I think all of them.
Toxic is weirdly good on Aizen.
And then, if somebody gonna ban Aizen, he gonna pick Garena on all of the maps.
Yeah,
But you got two bans at least, so I was
yeah.
jokingly saying to Kilson yesterday, if we play them minus Garena minus Aizen straight away,
And then he's
and then
he's probably gonna go Slash, and then that's
then
fine.
then he has to feed on Slash.
Yeah. Because in 2v2 it's weird, right? Because he plays his very defensive style,
Hmm.
and if when he plays Slash, he becomes super aggressive.
I don't know sometimes what he's doing. I think same in 1v1. He seems like super defensive guy. How can you play so defensive in Jules having such good mechanic skills? I don't understand that.
I mean, ask Sirius that as well.
Yeah, but I think Sirius is his aim is depending on his style a bit.
I agree. He
I think
really he.
if he will be playing fast, he wouldn't be hitting as much. And I
I
think
agree.
with
I agree.
Tox, it doesn't really change.
Yeah,
He
Tox
just
just
he just
hits.
plays defensive because he just like has some crazy idea that he gonna do something, and then he stands in the middle of the map. And
Yeah,
Sirius is like, doing this defensive style also with some purpose, he has all the timings, and he's just playing slow, and it
yeah.
it allows him to hit as well much. Tox is just like having some crazy ideas in the middle of the game, which are
It's
stopping him
weird though,
from
right?
playing like
Because
offensive.
you played Quake 4 against him, and Quake 4 was very aggressive and very
hmm
fast.
hmm He
And
was
I think
completely different
Quake
player
Live
back then.
broke him. I think Quake Live broke him because Quake Live was really defensive.
You told me
And
your
having,
idea about that, yeah, but
yeah,
yeah.
Quake Live, because it was so defensive, you couldn't push anymore. I think he just ignored all these defensive traits. And now sometimes they still come out in Duel, but at the wrong times.
hmm
I think Quake Live broke Toxic, sadly.
My theory about it is that
Let's see.
Age is hitting everyone differently.
Uh,
So I think Age got to him like much more, and I think he kinda after Quake 4, he kinda stopped competing. I don't think he was all in with Quake Live or Quake 3 because there was also Quake 3 at some point for a year. He
mm-hmm.
he completely skipped that. Then he kinda went to Quake Live but didn't really try, so he skipped that. Then there was like a little bit of Overwatch. He skipped that. I think he was out of the business for so long that the age kind of got to him. Because in Quake 4 he was timing really well. He was like controlling map really well. Like he was playing like cooler, like with controlling and also like having extremely good aim,
Yeah.
good movement, like everything.
I
Game
watched
sense
the
in
Quake
general.
4 VODs between like you, him, and even Cypher sometimes. I watch
hmm
all of those VODs every couple of months because Quake 4 for me, I'd never played, but it seems like a game just like
hmm
raw speed and aggression.
hmm
It was like, I don't know, it was out of all of the Quakes that I've seen, it seemed like the most beautiful one to watch and play. But
hmm
sadly, I've never played it.
You also got some players, for example, who picked with their shape really early and stayed and didn't really improve. For example, I was really, really good in the beginning at the young age. I was adapting really fast. I was winning tournaments. Same for Cooler. Then we still didn't get out of top. Kinda there, like
Mm-hmm.
top four, for example, three, some random second place or something like this, just somewhere there. And
Yeah.
then you got some people who were starting really hard, like Cypher and Rapha, but they were improving and improving slowly and improving until they got to the point where they like stood on the top. So
Yeah.
like I think for everyone it's like kind of different, and in sport you have also same thing. You had like big champions at young age and then like fell out of the top. Some grinders who only became like world champions at some like sport in the older age, and like to some of them like age got like better or worse, like to some boxers. Like you got some of them at the age of 50, some heavyweights who barely fucking speaking and they can't walk, and you got like Klitschko, for example, who still can like be a contender for heavyweight if you let him to the ring now. So for everyone it's different, I think, but it's interesting story with Tox anyway,
Since you mentioned Rafa, I think right now he's at the best shape he's ever been in his life.
because he's still he's improving, as I said, still improving
Yeah,
all the
and like
time.
the one weakness he had, back in Quake Live days or early Quake Champions, that people could beat him on mechanics, but now he's hitting like a truck.
Yep.
How the fuck do you beat someone who's already the smartest and now he
hmm
can he
Yep.
can aim with the
Yep.
best as well?
Yep.
You can't beat him. That's why
Yep.
this year his statistic on LAN is 94% win rate on maps.
hmm
Like what?
Crazy.
94% win
Crazy.
rate on maps. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait to see him play like more like next year, because seriously this dude is like
Yeah.
untouchable, and at the
And now
moment
he's
like
coming to Europe. So if there are more 2v2 tournaments, he should be able to play. And he can actually play with European guys, actually.
yep.
We only thought of North American guys, but if he decides to play with someone European, who the hell would he play with?
Yeah.
I mean, anyone, I guess.
Yeah.
You know who I'd like to see him play with? Probably Maxter, actually.
Yeah, that will be interesting as well.
Although Maxter doesn't really speak English, or
That's
you
what I
can't
wanted to
understand
say.
him.
That's what I wanted to say, that Rafa would like put a lot of impact on communication, and I think that
Yeah.
that could be a little bit of the issue. Because of very, it's not like Maxer can speak English really well, but
Maxter can't speak
the
English, but
thing
he can't
is,
speak Spanish either because he's from Argentina.
the
You can't
thing
understand
is,
him in any
the thing is,
language.
he has extremely strong accent, right?
Yeah.
I know they played CS, and one guy told me very funny shit, and he was like, Maxter is super good, except that he cannot speak English.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Even when he speaks English, he's using like
He's
Spanish
he
expressions
has
and stuff.
very hard accent, very hard like
Yeah,
Spanish accent, and it's like when he's talking full sentence, it might be difficult to understand. Unless you spend some time, I spend a lot of time with him on boot camps and with Nosfa, so I got zero problems understanding him. But I already heard it from many people that, Maxter is great, but he cannot speak English. But it's just like inside joke or something like this.
yeah. I've played some 2v2 with him, and
But
I
his
sometimes I
style,
don't
but
know.
his style will be super good for Rapha, I think. He's
Yeah,
also aggressive. He plays a lot of champions. He will go to items. He's extremely smart in the game. Hits well. I think that will be good. Yeah,
so it's. I'm hoping we see more 2v2 next year, but yeah,
yeah,
we'll
same.
see.
Okay, next matchup, the Incredibles and the Washed. Okay, so we're playing Xron Silencep.
Yeah.
What can I say? I can only say that I think it's about 50-50. I think both teams playing bad, honestly. And both teams have similar and different issues at the same time, so
Yeah,
it's
I
hard to
think
say,
your issue is more basically teamwork with Gilson, and their issue is hitting.
Hmm.
So it depends who can fix their issue first. But I think in normal circumstances, I'd give you guys an edge.
Hmm.
Like it's six for me. The game is like 65-35 in your favor.
Hmm.
If you give like Washed a couple more months, then they would improve a lot.
Hmm.
Although their style together, it's weird. Like because they were both like sort of the support players.
Hmm.
So they're very good at supporting each other, but neither of them is hitting that well to be able to carry a game.
Hmm.
So it's I'm not usually a fan of having two support players play
Yeah,
with each
but
other.
also if we look at the past, Xron used to play with like carry players, for example,
Yeah,
Klaus, or like Tox,
yeah.
which should carry, uh, and it didn't go
Weird
that
carry.
it didn't go that well actually.
Yeah, but I
Silencep,
don't think
on the other hand, played with who? With Raisy
he played with Raisy. He also played with
and with
Claws.
and with Tox, I think.
I'm not sure if he. I mean, yeah, if Xron played with Claws, then Silencep
I
was
mean,
playing.
although all those combos didn't really work out
Yeah,
somehow.
I think the combo that worked out the best was probably Claws and Silencep, the first one, right? It was their what was that team name? Like Sleep to Awake or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think they got.
Final, yeah,
I think
yeah.
did they get to a final? I think they got to a final, but then they kept uh, you know re-rolling every LAN,
Hmm.
whereas
Yeah,
DaHanG and Rapha just stayed together and kept
yeah,
winning,
yeah, yeah.
so it didn't work.
Anyway, we'll see. We already spoke about estoty cheaters. Mm,
Yeah, it's gonna be a very hard one for Estoty. Like they have good comms, they have good synergy, but cheater just they
mhm,
hit to them hard for anyone really.
exactly. It's also slightly different map pool, and there was a patch. There is two uh, two bans per map,
Yeah,
so that should benefit the other teams other than cheaters, I think,
yeah,
in this
because
tournament.
I mean, Keltz, they like cheaters actually have good chemistry because Keltz is someone that actually goes to items and he
Hmm.
doesn't mind being very aggressive. Where Sirius plays more of a passive role
Hmm.
because he doesn't like moving.
Hmm.
He's very lazy,
But
but he
also
hits a
like
lot.
he also knows the timing, so he kind of
Yeah,
plays like close to the timing to the items. He doesn't really need to jump on them or stuff like this. He still can like deal damage from the
yeah, but he needs
distance
someone
or
to go in
something.
the items.
Yeah, yeah.
Because when I was playing with Sirius, the thing is, it's like in 2018 he was very aggressive, but now he's not aggressive at all.
Hmm.
And we were playing some 2v2s, and it was basically I say, oh, heavy 17, mega 23, and he's like, yep. And the light hits been between them, and then the heavy comes. We're both watching the enemies take it, and then we watch the enemies take the mega, and we're like, we finish the games. The other teams have like 17 heavy, 17 megas, and we have one heavy and on one mega each, and with
Yeah,
5k damage more, and we still lose
yeah,
because you
yeah.
need someone to be aggressive to get the items. If not, there's not much point
Exactly.
playing.
There's also sometimes like this weird feeling like there's item coming up and it seems like both players don't want to make a move and they end up not doing anything. I think
Yeah,
that the default should be for every team is it like it was with Rafa and DaHanG. Default is we go into all items
yeah,
unless we say that we conceding or we regrouping or we uh,
cancel.
recovering or
Yeah,
anything, restacking.
yeah,
what I meant.
Yeah,
So
unless one of them calls it to be like
yeah,
passive or
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
cancel, they're going for every item.
Then the other guy knows that he cannot go in and fully commit. He can like kind of like half go in, make a damage and escape, or like do damage
Yeah,
on the exit or something like this, but he already understands what's going on, and you know. But also, like, on the other hand, when I'm thinking about it now, I think it kind of, the meta shifted a little bit. I don't think like restacking too much is good. Sometimes it's better to go, commit, die, and reset and play for the next item instead of like restacking, because restacking seems like ages now. You got one guy like going for HP, then going for like a green. Eventually he's
yeah,
dying anyway, and it's like, you know, you're losing a lot of time. So maybe I think if Rapha played now, I think he will be pushing like style as in 1v1. Go in,
yeah.
do as much damage as you can,
Most
reset, go
likely.
for the another item, and he will like push his like teammate to do the same. Never restacking, just go in, do as much damage as possible, you know, reset and go for the another item.
Especially because all the weapons in Quake Champions do so much damage. Like it's
Shotgun,
good
everything.
if yeah, if you have a lot of if you have like LG and Rail Rocket, maybe you want to play a bit more defensive. But even if you only have machine gun and shotgun, you still do a lot of damage with those.
hmm Especially with the sounds, you can like, you know, your teammate is already in the fight. You're basically coming on their back, and they don't realize what's happening. You're already dealing damage to them,
Yeah.
basically.
By the time you figure out someone is shooting you, you've already lost 200 HP.
Exactly. Yeah. So, what's your predictions for the finals?
The finals for me is likely going to be Myztro versus Cheaters unless
hmm
some other team steps up.
hmm
It's very hard for any other team to take down either of them
hmm
because Myztro aren't really practicing much, neither are Cheaters, but with Myztro, they've already played together a lot, so their basics are just fine.
hmm
And Cheaters, they just hit very well. It's
hmm
very hard to take down one of them. I think the third best team would be you and Kilson, but unless you guys fix the couple of issues that you have, it's going to be hard for you
hmm
guys to take it. The fourth place, I don't know who would take it.
I
Anyone could
just
take it.
I just really think like in our case it's gonna take weeks to fix the issues. Although,
Hmm.
as I told to Kilson, I think our like problems can be fixed without even practicing. We just need to like, you know,
I agree.
set our mind to do something and just do it in the game. We don't need practice like for 2 hours and doing the same mistakes all over and all over and all
Yeah,
over. We can like fix it over the night basically. It's just
I
the
agree.
matter
I agree.
of the will, you know, and something like this. Anyway, it's gonna be super interesting. It starts 4 p.m.
Yeah,
Uh, every team has to stream it. Like at least one player from the
at
team
least
has
one
to stream.
player on each stream has to stream it. Yeah,
And the official cast will be on Shaftastic.
yeah.
Are we gonna have like any other like CIS stream?
I assume Cook probably wants to stream it. I'm open
Okay,
to everyone that wants to stream it can stream it. I think that's how it
all
should
right.
be. As long as if Shaftastic wants to stream a match, there has to be space for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the requirement.
Would be
What I
nice.
want now is
Would
your
be nice.
predictions
Yeah, would be nice to see
for
Cypher
everything.
streaming. By the way.
Yeah.
Uh, well, there's no other predictions than Maestro winning it, but I think cheaters can
No,
go really close to them.
no. You have to. I want every game predictions now.
Okay, so first game, Maestro losing 2-0. No, I mean,
For sure.
okay, Maestro winning the first game.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wait, hold on. I'm actually
I will say BUGA winning the second game over the Ice
okay.
Climbers. Mm,
So BUGA going through versus Maestro,
mhm.
and
Then we
then
got Incredible Washed, and I know it's gonna sound bad, but I really feel like they Washed gonna win.
oh, okay.
It's
That's
gonna
your
be
prediction. I'm just
it's
gonna put it.
it's gonna be close game for sure, but I just think that they are improving and we are not for the
I
last
see.
week.
I would agree honestly,
Even though
because
they lost to ARTOWKA and Stone somehow, I think that
they
was
did,
like
they
some
did, they
kind
did.
of misunderstanding. I don't know. That was it happens. Some worst game happens, but over the course of like week or like all the games, I think they playing
Hmm.
better and better and they have more teamwork and they mechanically better and they just like playing better. And I
I mean,
think
in Silencep, he's someone that the more he plays, the better he's gonna get. And since he's the guy that has the least practice out of everyone,
Mhm.
he's only likely to get better and better.
And I think how it's gonna look like, we're gonna play and it's gonna be very close game, but they will manage to control much more than us, and they will be taking much more 2v1 fights on the map, and they
Hmm.
will be killing us separately. Basically, that's how it's gonna look like. Or on some map, they're gonna be able to like farm like 10, 15 kills in the beginning, something like that. So I think it's gonna be super difficult for us. Then cheaters on the next game.
Okay, so it's gonna be Myztro BUGA and Cheaters Watch that we expected, then it's gonna be likely Myztro versus Cheaters, I guess.
Yep.
Okay, now the lower bracket is the funny part. So
Do
the
we,
first game in the lower bracket, according to you, would be Clique versus IC. Who wins that one?
uh, you think it's gonna be like this? Isn't gonna like the bracket
It's
isn't
loser
gonna
of
swap?
loser of one versus loser of two. It swaps at the second round.
Okay. So we got Clique and Ice Climbers.
Yeah.
I think I really think Ice Climbers should be a favorite here,
Yes.
but I wouldn't be surprised if you beat them because I also see
I
many
just want
mistakes.
I just want a prediction name, man. Who wins?
Yeah, I will do Ice Climbers
Okay.
because they are
So Ice
favorite. Yeah.
Climbers would go then versus loser of 8. So they would go versus Washed. And in the other one, Estoty versus you guys.
hmm
There's you win this one, I suppose.
I see us winning by a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. So Incredibles
Against Washed again?
versus
No.
against Buga.
Ah, BUGA.
Now it's 20 turns, so you don't play the same people in the first
Mhm.
round.
So we got Incredibles BUGA and Washed
I
Ice
see.
Climbers.
Yes.
I think Washed gonna win.
Okay. Washed and then Incredibles Buga.
hmm
This should be a hard game, honestly.
It is, but I think in this case we got more chances to win BUGA than Washed. I think.
Okay.
BUGA doesn't really play as aggressive on items, and maybe we can somehow outplay them in the middle of the map somewhere. I don't
So
know.
and then it eventually gets to the same first game, Washed versus Incredibles.
Ah, yeah, cause then
And now it's the
cheaters
best of
are
one.
waiting. Okay,
Now it's the
I
best of
think
one, as is the loser bracket semifinal.
I will give it to Washed again.
Oh wow. Zero confidence.
No, we are already like far.
Okay.
We are already further than what we deserve, honestly, for what we're
Okay.
showing. So it's still good. And then we got Washed against cheaters.
Yeah. And
Cheaters going to the finals, and I really think
yeah.
Myztro gonna win. Because if they
Yeah,
manage to
most
win like on estotycom, I think this even favors them more. Like those rules as we spoke.
maybe. I'm kind of expecting cheaters to win, honestly. I don't know why I got this feeling
Okay.
that
Well, I'm
cheaters
not
are gonna
saying they
win.
cannot win. They can
Yeah,
win
it's just
because like it's just like first thought. Obviously they
exactly. I
can
mean,
win. They,
Myztro I think won every 2v2 tournament, right?
Mhm.
Since QPL started, basically.
I think if cheaters gonna focus really extremely hard on both things, items and power ups, setting
Hmm.
up for it, having like really good pre-power up gameplay, like resetting, like taking positions first, like with proper
That's the
guns,
biggest thing that they need, really.
having figure out where they're coming from and like preventing them beforehand. I think that's the way they need to focus on, and only then they can win. They cannot
That's
really
the
give
biggest
them
thing,
up
right?
away or like let them run them up and try to outplay them with aim only. They need to only if they fight for an item, it's already win for them because they will be winning like a bit more exchanges.
Yeah.
I'm saying a
Like,
bit more because I still think vengeuR and Raisy have extremely good combat skills in 2v2.
and they're very good at 2v1ing as well.
And they have really good focus fire in the fights and everything. Like the
I,
basics are really good.
I would say, like, outside of power ups, cheaters maybe they have a bit of an edge, but when it comes to power up, if they don't learn how to control the power ups, they're
And with
completely
power
screwed.
ups, with the changes to spawn system, you cannot
Yeah,
not the system but the time, you cannot really like
you can only
hold
delay
the
for
spawn.
two
You cannot
seconds.
delay the spawn. So I think the powers are super important nowadays.
Yeah, and given how cheaters are, I doubt they're actually going to talk about it until they start the game. So
hmm
maybe not much improvement there to be made.
Yep. They
So
could
yeah, with
work
that
on
in
many
mind, maybe
things.
I'd give it to Myztro.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Also, you watching this, give us your thought about it. Like, tell us your predictions, who's gonna win, like from fourth
Yeah,
to
give us
the
the top four
top
predictions.
four at least. And then, as we mentioned before, if you want to help us with this tournament, we already have 500 from the VAXEE. So the prize pool is 500, but we got open donation goal for that tournament. If you want to donate and to the distribution and add something from yourself, go ahead. Will be highly appreciated. We're gonna try to have some streams for you upcoming this week. This is the last week out the finals and many people gonna stream, so enjoy the show.
Mm,
And if we're gonna put up a good show, if we're gonna gather some like donations, I think there's a big chance we're gonna have more of this, and maybe Estoty
hopefully.
can join for some more 2v2 tournaments. I think it's super fun. So that's
Yeah.
it. Thank you, Bruno, for like organizing this event and talking with me today, and thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Cheers.